Thank you for joining the Talking Allergies podcast.
You're welcome. I'm excited to be here.
So, Sharon, do you want to get started by telling us a little bit about you?
Yeah, so I am an allergy mum, and I have been for about 11 years now. So my firstborn son, Charlie, was diagnosed with multiple food allergies when he was about 6 months old. So before that, I really didn't know anything about food allergies, except that peanuts could be dangerous for some people, was probably the extent of it. And so it was a quick learning process, not only to be a first-time mum, but a first-time mum to a child with multiple food allergies. So he was diagnosed at 6 months. Well, he had his first allergic reaction at 6 months to dairy, and then he had his first appointment with the allergist at 9 months old, and they did skin prick tests which showed allergies for dairy, egg, peanuts, multiple tree nuts, and at that point in time there was a possible soy allergy and sesame allergy, which I had to do food challenges for, and fortunately we didn't add those ones to our list.
So you found out directly at the anaphylactic stage and then started the journey with Charlie?
Yeah, well, I would say due to Charlie's wisdom as a 6-month-old baby, he saved himself from having an anaphylactic reaction because he had been breastfed, and then at 4 months we started introducing some more solid foods, and he loved it. He is a complete foodie then, and he is a complete foodie now, and he was then. And he would have his mouth wide open every time I was introducing something new for him to eat. Yeah. And at 6 months old, for the first time I tried some dairy with him, he sat in his high chair and he closed his mouth and he shook his head. And I thought, oh, that's unusual for Charlie. And I thought, well, this is a full-fat Greek yogurt. I'll get a flavoured yogurt. So I got a strawberry-flavoured yogurt, and the same thing happened. He closed his mouth and he shook it side to side. And I thought, I'll just put a little dab on his lip and he'll lick it off and taste it and like it. And so I put a little dab on his lip and he broke out in hives in a minute or two. Wow. And I shudder to think what would have happened had he had a whole spoonful of yogurt, because A, I wasn't prepared, and B, it would have been a significant anaphylactic reaction based on how we know he's reacted to dairy after that. So, I don't know how it is possible, but I've heard it with multiple other allergy mothers that their child, as a baby, just knew already. And when I look back now, he had so many symptoms with the eczema, the screaming, crying, which would have been through the foods that I was eating, coming through the breast milk that he was allergic to. But yeah, that was our introduction to food allergy life.
Such a whirlwind, going from nothing, then just to putting a little bit on the lip, then to going to the allergist a couple of months later.
Yes. And at that time, I took a photo of Charlie with all the hives on his mouth, and my husband's a GP, and I sent him a photo of it, and I said, I just tried to give Charlie dairy and this happened. What do I do? And he just wrote back and he said, he's probably allergic to dairy. Don't give him any more, or don't give him anything with dairy. But I think when he got home that night, he said, they usually outgrow it by 3 or 4 years of age. And I said, 3 or 4 years of age? That's so far away.
Yeah.
And how am I supposed to avoid dairy for that long? And of course, he got to 3 or 4 years of age and he still hadn't outgrown it. But you started to realise as well just how many products contain dairy as well.
So many. And then you've got looking at the back of packs of everything from that point too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mind-blowing.
You didn't know much about allergies prior, and then as soon as he was diagnosed, what changed in your day-to-day life?
I think because Charlie was our only, baby or child at that point, there wasn't too much that really changed. We didn't change what we were eating at home. And at that point, I was advised by the allergist, if you are eating the foods that he's allergic to and you're still breastfeeding him and he's tolerating it, I guess, just continue doing that, because, it might give him a chance of helping him outgrow it. If I had my time back over, I would have removed all of those allergens from my diet, because it would have provided him relief in his body, because it must have been impacting his tummy and making him feel uncomfortable. So I think also you have the luxury when they're that age that I would be making all of his food at home. I'd be pureeing all the foods and taking it in containers when we went anywhere anyway. And so he would eat that, and, he would be sitting on my lap and I would be holding him, or my husband holding him. So that was, I guess, doable to a point. It was also then making sure that we carried his, medicine bag with him as well. They don't prescribe the EpiPen, or they didn't back then, until after 12 months of age. 12 months of age. So we still had the Zyrtec. And then once he was 12 months, we had the EpiPen that we carried as well, even though he hadn't had an anaphylactic reaction. And, a lot of allergists say, well, you don't need one. They haven't had the anaphylactic reaction yet. I guess myself and my husband decided we weren't taking any chances. We would carry that just in case he did. And being multiple food allergies, I think the risk becomes a lot higher too, that there's potential exposure to one of his allergens. I think things changed when Arnold was born, and you then have another newborn baby. Myself, I'm sleep deprived. I've got so many things going on, and I just had to have a think about what was changing and potential risks that could happen. And that meant that if I was sleep deprived and, two little kids to look after, there was a chance that something might happen at home. So we decided to make everything at home free of Charlie's food allergens, except there was the yogurt that my husband would have in the morning for his breakfast, but he would have that at 5 a.m. and everything was cleaned up and, put back away before Charlie would be awake as well. The only time we might have something with Charlie's allergens was if we were out, and somebody else was cooking it and making it. And even still then, myself as a mum, I would typically order the food that was free of Charlie's allergens anyway, in case he wanted to try some of my food, because we were starting to get to that age. He was about 2.5, where they are wanting to try some of your food. So that was changing what was in my diet, in terms of what we would eat at home, and if we were out, what I would eat too. But yeah, I think you started to realise as well when you were checking ingredients just how many foods those allergens are in. And it's really surprising where those allergens can hide, because it's not just in food, it's in the personal care products, it's in cleaning products. And, I'd say to Charlie, he is my little angel, because it forced me to go through all of my personal care products, makeup, hair products, and I started really looking at ingredients and going, well, I'm looking for the allergens, but what are all these other things that are listed here? Are these actually good for me and for the kids? And so I really went low tox, organic, clean products for the personal care, which would also be free of Charlie's allergens too. But it's a big lifestyle change, but there's benefits that come from that too, I have found.
But that's a very big impact on you as well. You became an allergy chef,
yes,
looking at not only their lives but also what's in different products, making sure you had emergency kits. Super allergy parents.
Yeah, and it just becomes part of your lifestyle really, because you're living it every day. And I think the thing we found, because my husband wasn't, he was at work pretty much 6 days a week, He wasn't trained as well as I was. And so he was the one who was more inclined to buy something that he just assumed would be safe for Charlie. And yeah, there was a few times where he would give something to Charlie to eat and it had milk powder in it or something. And, you know, Charlie started reacting. My husband would be like, what? No, hang on, let me check. Or I thought I checked it. Oh no, it's hidden. It does have milk powder. Like that's why you have to triple check it, really. Not just in the store, but when you get home and you put it away, when you take it out to eat it, that's the whole process of reducing that risk as much as possible by doing all those checks constantly.
Being an allergy parent and having these day-to-day aspects, is that how you came up with Charlie's Treat Box, or how did you come up with it?
Well, the original idea for Charlie's Safe Treat Box, I guess, appeared in my mind, in my heart, when we were in hospital because Charlie had had an anaphylactic reaction. He'd had a few when he was 2 or 3 years old. So some of them, he had been at daycare and his daycare was egg and nut free. And it meant that dairy was the tricky one to avoid. But yeah, things happen, mistakes happen. And unfortunately, there was a couple of times Charlie ended up needed to go in an ambulance and go in a hospital. There was another occasion where Charlie had a raw egg challenge in hospital that went really wrong. He only got to, I think, a cumulative total of 2 or 3 mil of egg white, and it resulted in staying overnight in hospital and multiple doses of, I guess, what would be the EpiPen. That was, yeah, really not a good time. That was really stressful time, and just trying to figure out how we're going to do this and how we're going to keep him safe. But through our experience staying in hospital, where you do assume as a food allergy mum that it will be a safe place for your child with food allergies, you realise it's actually quite a dangerous place for somebody with food allergies. So when we had presented to hospital, we arrived via ambulance, you know that you're there for a minimum of 4 hours after an anaphylactic reaction while they observe you and make sure you don't have a second reaction. And when you've got a child who's a couple of years old, 4 hours is a long time. And once he was starting to feel better and the EpiPen had worked, he was feeling hungry. And so I would ask the nurses if there was anything safe for Charlie to eat. And given his multiple food allergies, they couldn't really find anything, which for me was really surprising because he's not the first child with multiple food allergies that has ended up in hospital. And so I think they were able to find there was little So Good soy Primas.
Mm.
So he was able to have that. I think there was a lemonade icy pop. And that was about it, really. So I was then, because, you know, you haven't planned to be in hospital, I was then relying on either my husband to arrive from work and hopefully have some safe snacks for Charlie, or if my mum could get there and she could bring something that I knew was safe. And it was through that journey that we realised, or I said to Charlie, I just wish there was a vending machine at this hospital that was filled with allergy-friendly treats. It would be so convenient for us just to be able to go there and have something we can trust to buy, and it can just get us through just those hunger pains, really.
Yeah.
And Charlie said to me at the time, why don't you do that, Mum? And I said, oh, maybe I'll think about it. And then, yeah, then I had Evelyn not long after, and life was really busy with 3 kids, and we eventually got around to starting the idea of the business. It was sort of late 2018, 2019. So we had put together the plan for the business. We'd got the website up and running, and in 2020 I was supposed to be going to Nashville in May 2020 to go to a global vending machine conference to go and pick the right vending machine for Charlie's Safe Treat Box. And of course, COVID happened and the whole world got shut down, and those plans all got cancelled for that point, or as I like to say, paused. So Charlie and I said, well, let's just wait and see what happens. And at the end of 2020, we realised COVID was going to be hanging around a bit longer than we all wanted. And so in 2021, I said to Charlie, well, why don't we change the plan for now? And why don't we create a website that people can buy the products from there? So we can have boxes filled with top 10 allergen-free treats that people can buy online and have it delivered to their house. And this way they can taste those treats at home. And then when we go back to having the vending machines, they will be familiar with the products and they will be able to go and choose whatever products they want there. But I think the other thing I'll mention is we were umming and ahhing, what products do we have in there? Do we just have a mix of allergy-friendly treats? Some might be nut-free, some might be dairy-free and egg-free. But as we discussed how that would work and what would it entail if somebody went to the vending machine, there was still then a lot of stress that would be involved, a bit of confusion. And I would use the example that if we had a Charlie Safe Treat Box vending machine at the zoo and my parents or Charlie's grandparents took Charlie to the zoo, I don't want to say to them, some products in there are safe. The ones with the purple dot or the green dot, or and then you've got somebody filling the vending machine, there's too much room for error. So we said, well, I think it's better if we only accept products that are free of the top 10 food allergens. And that, people can have allergies outside of the top 10, definitely, but the majority of people will be able to purchase one of those products because they're free of the top 10 food allergens. And I would prefer to be able to say to my parents, if they took Charlie to the zoo or for anybody going up, that, Charlie can have anything from that machine. All he has to do is choose what treat he wants for that day. And it just makes it a lot more simple. The same sort of thought process was also if we had the vending machines in schools and you've now got the child choosing the product themselves. We just wanted to make it really simple and the risk reduced as much as possible, that if they've got a food or their food allergies are only within the top 10, then they could go up and safely pick anything from the vending machine. So it does make it more difficult. It makes it really limited of the products we can stock at Charlie Safe Treat Box. And then we also get them to go through a really strict approval process, which is another layer of complexity, but we need it there because our customers are people with life-threatening food allergies. We want to be able to have every check and process in place within our power to make sure that these products are safe for our customers so that they have the confidence that, they can open a box of our treats or go to our vending machines when we do have them and safely eat anything there without the stress and the worry of, will it maybe contain traces? No, it won't, because we won't accept those products. And we've gone through a really extensive approval process with the manufacturer to make sure that they understand our customers and that they've got the processes in place to make sure that these are safe.
That's fantastic. I know that I call the manufacturer to make sure that there's a product that goes, okay, it looks like I can eat it. If it's a new product, I'll call the manufacturer myself and we'll discuss it. So it's fantastic that you've taken that from them as well, because if they didn't know, they wanted to go, yes, this is safe for if it's a child going up to the vending machine wanting to eat something, that they go, okay, it's free of top 10. It's fantastic.
Yes. And I think the other scary thing that I've found as an allergy mum is when I have reached out to a company where the product does appear to be safe, and I've introduced Charlie Safe Treat Box, that we only accept products that are free of the top 10 food allergens. We don't accept a product if it may contain traces or whatever sort of warning on the packaging. And they will write back and say, yes, their product's suitable. Let's go ahead. And I say, great, we've just got one more step. We've got our supply questionnaire that you need to complete, which is about 100 questions, covering different areas of risk that could happen from when you get the ingredients to bringing them to the manufacturing place, to staff, to packaging them, labelling them, everything. And there's been a number of companies at that point say, actually, our products aren't suitable. And that's really scary as an allergy mum, because I know that if I had been the allergy mum who had called them on the phone and stated what the allergens are and asked if they were safe, I could have got the answer yes. But when they've been presented with something where they actually have to prove it, then when they step away and say, actually, no, we're not right for you, then it gives me peace of mind that that's why we have this final step in place. We don't just trust, what the marketing says on the packaging. We actually really get into the detail of how they can prove to us that product is safe. And the right companies are amazing. They complete that questionnaire really quickly because they've already got all the answers. And they usually come back saying, we are so impressed with the level you have gone to ensure that these products are safe for your customers. But you've also given us a lot of confidence, or, a higher level of confidence that we actually have the right processes in place. And, that's a really good feeling for them too, when they are talking to other, allergy customers who might be calling up. They can confidently say, yeah, these are safe for you.
Fantastic. Was there any moment that you've been proud of, or a milestone that you've hit recently?
I guess a milestone recently is we've got some awards at the @𝘥𝘭𝘬𝘪𝘦𝘴 Awards. So
congratulations.
Business. We ended up finalists in 4 different categories, and we, for 2 of those categories, which were gluten-free and hampers, we won the Editor's Choice Awards for those ones. So I was really excited, and it just gives a bit of a stamp approval that we've had external people judge our boxes. And for that one, it was for the original Charlie Safe Treat box. So it's a mix of sweet and savoury treats. They're all top 10 allergen-free in that box, gluten-free and vegan in that box as well. So that was really good because it's, being externally judged. But I think the biggest highlights for me is when I'm going to tear up saying this, when I get an allergy mum contact me, because they have, sometimes we might have had chats beforehand. They might have a child with allergies and they've got a few more questions for me. They might have a child who has allergies outside of the top 10. And so I go back to all those manufacturers who have completed our supply questionnaire and say, is it free and safe for this customer who has this? It could be a strawberry or a coconut or a kiwi fruit allergy or something. And so, I'm really proud when I'm packaging up the order and sending it out with so much love. And a big hug to the allergy mum, who is usually the one who places the order. And, sometimes it's a private message or email to me, and others, they put a review on our website. But just hearing the impact that this box of top 10 allergen-free treats has had on their child, that, the reason that we have these boxes is so that these kids with food allergies in particular, who are, going through a really tough time sometimes with school, it could be bullying, it could be, mental health, it could just be confidence, and a number of different things, that they receive this box and they feel seen, they feel valued, they feel special, they feel understood. And then they get told they can eat everything in this box. And they're like, really? And a lot of the mums have said, we've actually discovered new products that are safe for our child. We didn't know about this one before. And now we've finally got a packet of chips that they can take to parties, and they can feel cool and included and, sort of show off their new safe treats that they can eat. So for me, that's, the best thing ever is when we actually receive that feedback from customers, and they're usually the allergy mum.
That's so sweet. And it's really hard to find products in the top 10 that it's not just at every supermarket or across Australia.
No. And that's the other benefit of buying our box, is you do not have to drive to, 4, 5, 6 different shops to find it, which is what I used to do with Charlie. You know, I knew that that one product that was safe for him, that he did like, was a 40, 50-minute drive away. And I live in Melbourne. You know, we've got access to so much, but I would have to drive there. And sometimes I would drive there and it wouldn't be in stock. And they'd say it's coming in next week, and I'd drive back home, and next week I'd drive there again, or this time I might call in advance and say, hi, is that in stock? But yeah, you couldn't just go to the one shop. You couldn't just go to Coles or Woolworths or something like that and buy all of those treats. And particularly when Charlie started school and there was birthday parties happening, for me, that was a non-negotiable. He needed those safe foods. And if I had to drive across the other side of town to get it, so he had it to take to the party and life just felt normal for him, then that's what I would do. Where having our Charlie Safe treat boxes means that, you know, you can look at your calendar and say, we've got these birthday parties coming up. You can order in advance. They don't have to take the whole box. Actually, we've brought out a smaller size box that is perfect for kids to take to parties as well. So it has, is it 4 or 5 treats in it? We've got a fidget spinner in there as well, because we know that kids get nervous and anxious when they are at social events. And so they can sit there and, you know, use their fidget spinner just to distract them. And there's the pencils in there so they can colour in the box, because it's got the mindfulness colouring on the outside. But, you know, we want to just support the allergy mums as much as possible in making their life easy and in making life as normal as possible for the kids with food allergies too.
And be included. If you're going to those parties, you want to make sure that they're feeling included as well.
Yes, yes. And we hope at some point, you know, Charlie Safe Treat Box brand is so well known that you could be a parent who doesn't have a child with food allergies, but you have a child with food allergies coming to the party and you're saying, oh no, like what safe food can I have for them? You can contact the Allergy Mum and say, can I order this box for, you know, your child with food allergies? Will it be safe? Have a look. If it is, I'll order it and I'll give it to your child at the party. And I know, you know, Charlie's 11 years old now, but as a kid, he would have loved that. And I would have loved it knowing that, you know, all the checks had been done and I didn't need to do all of that myself, and that, you know, there was some toys in the box, there was pencils in the box, you know, all the things that he would have needed to just feel safe and included at that party.
Even as an adult, if someone looks after anyone with food allergies, let alone myself, it's so heartwarming.
Yes, yes. And I think the other thing is, even yesterday we had a play date with some of Charlie's friends and we brought along some of the lollies from one of our other boxes where it's just simply sweets in there.
Yeah.
And they loved them. They were like, I've never seen this before. And the mother explained that they're trying to be gluten-free at the moment as well for her and her son. And she was looking at it saying, I've never seen these. Like, where do I get them from? So we gave them some extra packets to take home. But I think that's the other thing that we get. The other feedback is, you know, I have a child with food allergies, but my other 2 kids who don't have food allergies loved all the treats in the box too. So it's a box of treats for people with food allergies, but enjoyed by people who don't have food allergies as well.
Stolen.
Yes.
So with that, you've also got a business and you're an allergy mum and looking after allergy mums, looking after this process. Is there anything in the day-to-day that you would manage now that you didn't when you first found out, or any tips that you would give?
I think, if I was speaking to another allergy mum, first of all, you're not alone. I know it feels lonely, but you are not alone. There's so many of us out there and we are navigating this everyday challenge just like you. There is so much support online now. When I first started, I think Facebook was sort of around and, you know, I think groups started at some point and you could join them and that's how you could get a little bit of support. But, you know, like with Allergy Life Australia, you do all of the support groups with people meeting online. You don't have to go somewhere. You can just sit at home and meet online and chat with other people and share stories and challenges and successes that way too. There is a lot more allergy-friendly products around now as well.
There is.
So there is a wider variety. And even just allergy-friendly recipes that you can make at home. There's a lot more options of substitutes you can use, which, yeah, we enjoy. Like even if I didn't have the option or if I didn't have to do allergy-free cooking, I probably still would because I like those recipes. Always take your medicine bag with you. Put the habits in place for that. It's a non-negotiable. Like, it's just a non-negotiable. If you've forgotten it, you go home and you get it. And I say to Charlie, just recently he's started saying, oh, should I just leave my medicine bag in the car because we're just going there and back? And I said, no, it comes with you everywhere because otherwise you're going to end up with decision fatigue. I'm just going here. Do I take it or what about next time? And then you end up forgetting it. You've left it somewhere. It's just one rule. You take it with you everywhere. And that brings me, we've also got, we developed some socks, which are Charlie's favourite socks. He wears them, he can't wear them to school, but every weekend that's the socks that he wears. But it's to help remember to bring your medicine bag with you when you leave the house. So for little kids, teenagers, it just helps enforce a habit that is a life-saving habit. So the socks are designed where just across the toe it says EpiPen. So most people, as you're leaving the house, you put your socks on, then you put your shoe on, and that's your reminder. You've got your socks saying EpiPen to go, oh, medicine bag. So we have it hanging just at the door as you leave. So Charlie knows to grab it and put it on. And it just helps everybody support it. I find that they are good for allergy dads to wear because they're the ones that typically aren't used to remembering the bag because they're, you know, could be at work all the time and it's a new habit that they can easily forget. So it's a great present for the allergy dad too, to just subtly encourage them in that way. But yeah, I think, yeah, you're not alone. There's a lot of us going through the same journey. There are treatments available too. That's probably something I haven't covered off on, which is a whole other episode. But we are an OIT family. We did live in the USA. We moved there for 9 months for Charlie to do treatment for his food allergies. It's not a cure either. It's a lot of hard work and there are a lot of benefits of doing it too. But I think that's another exciting space that there are some treatment options becoming available overseas and hopefully soon domestically in Australia. Definitely.
It's such a space that moves so quickly over so many years that not only is there new elements being added, such as the new products that you can find, like vegan oyster sauce that has no oysters in them, or all the different products as well, and the evolution in medicine and how people are dealing. I think it's fantastic, but you definitely have to know.
Yes, exactly.
If you met someone or if you met a child that just found a family that just found out about allergies, what would you say to them?
I hope you outgrow your food allergies. First of all, there's a chance that can happen. And if it doesn't, life can still be beautiful. Life can still be lived to the full. You will just have to put in boundaries around how you do it and habits around how you do it. But it's not, it can be scary and lonely and all of those things, and they are completely justified because when something does go wrong and you are exposed to your allergen, it's awful and scary and all of that. But you will learn through Allergy Life that the changes you have to make also bring benefits to you as an allergy family. So for us, You know, it forced me to move away from my career, work I was doing. And, you know, I'm with the kids all the time. I know my kids inside out. But that's also because I'm an allergy mum. You know, I've had to be there for Charlie all the time. School pickup, school drop off, birthday parties I stay. I'm not sure when that's going to change because he is 11 and it'll be a new journey for us there. But it's forced us to become really close as a family because, you know, we spend so much time together. We end up doing so many shared experiences together. There's a lot more cooking at home together. And so the kids are exposed to different meals, different ingredients. They're wanting to jump in. They're wanting to help. And there's benefits of home-cooked meals all the time that, you know, over the long term, it's going to pay off, I would say. But, yeah, you will learn to find your voice and you will learn to speak up because it means protecting your child. That doesn't always come naturally to many people, but it's a gift that happens in the allergy world. And you'll get to know yourself. You get to know your strengths as well, that come with being an allergy mum and an allergy family. And you also get a lot of empathy for other people who are going through hard times in life. You know, it's an understanding that you have on a different level.
It's such a lovely understanding of the allergy community as a whole to have that. Yes. Yeah. Is there anything that we can expect from Charlie's Safe Treat Box in the future?
I have lots of dreams and plans. We would love to go back to the original plan of the vending machines. Unfortunately, Arnold was in hospital a couple of months ago now. Unexpectedly, I was there with him for a few nights. And I realised whilst there's been some changes since I was last there with Charlie, there's still not really many changes. And so that original idea of having vending machines in hospitals that are filled with top 10 allergen-free treats, I think is still very much needed and a solution that we can help hospitals with. The vending machines aren't cheap at all. So, you know, I guess from that point of view, I'd have to look at if there's grants available through hospitals or how I can do funding somehow. Some other things I'm working on at the moment, I just received recently the draft copy and hopefully the final one comes through and we can have it in time for Christmas. But we've developed some affirmation cards for kids with food allergies. So for me, when I showed the draft to Charlie and he was looking through it and I was just watching his face as he was reading all these messages and I'm like, yep, we've hit it. Like this is what's needed for those kids with food allergies. You know, he's an 11-year-old boy and it got him right in the heart. And I think it's really important because it's another part, the mental health side of food allergies for people is a significant thing. So we're close to having that ready and I'm hoping soon in the next few weeks I'll be able to start talking it online, and then we're also going to be developing some affirmation cards for food allergy mums as well because I think they go hand in hand, and the food allergy mums need that support too. And then I've got some other non-food things as well that I'm wanting to develop. And, but I'd love to hear, you know, if anyone's listening and they have any ideas or any feedback or things we can do to help support them and make allergy life easier, then definitely reach out and contact us because we are here for the food allergy community and always looking for ways that we can support them more.
It's fantastic. I'd love to hear about those affirmation cards, mental health for not just the child, but also the people caring for them, looking after them, and those allergy mums is so important.
Yes.
That you're looking after the people that are caring for everyone else as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Where can everyone find more about Charlie's Safe Treat Box?
So you can go to our website, which is www.charliesafetreatbox.com. We are on Instagram and Facebook at Charlie Safe Treat Box. We do have a YouTube channel with a couple of videos there. You can find us. But go to the website. You can sign up for our email list there, and you will receive a discount code you can use for a first purchase. And you also get our free recipe ebook, which is 10 sweet treats for the top 10 food allergens. So treats that you can make at home and keep in the freezer for parties or lunch boxes or all those sorts of things. And they've all been taste test approved by Charlie too.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Talking Allergies, and for your input both as a business owner and creator, but also as an allergy mum, and talking about the story as well. It's really impactful and I've learned a lot. So thank you.
You are most welcome, and it's been a pleasure.